Hey everyone, so in terms of vlogging, I did not do a lot of talking directly to the camera this weekend, but I did do some filming, so here's what I've been able to throw together. Hope you enjoy it. So a couple of weeks ago, Zephan and I went for dinner with a family friend of my mom's. And at this dinner, she mentioned that she wanted to take us on a weekend trip. So this past weekend, we went to Hakone, which is an area southwest of Tokyo famous for its numerous ryokan, which are like traditional Japanese hotel, and onsen, or hot springs. I've mentioned this a couple of times, but one of my favorite things about living in Japan is that it is perfectly set up for weekend travel. The country itself isn't that big, and the public transportation network is outstanding. And while Hakone does see its share of international tourists, the thing that I really liked about this past weekend was that I felt like I was experiencing a weekend getaway in Japan, much the same way as someone who's lived in Japan their whole life and still wanted to escape the city centers. The main part of this weekend was our stay at a ryokan. And we have this beautiful Japanese-style room. They've been serving us our meals in our rooms, and it really is just service at its finest. And really, the service was incredible. When you enter the room, you take off your slippers and step up onto the ledge of the room. And when you leave the room, the person that had come in previously to explain the rules of the hotel and the onsen times, etc., has turned the slippers around and organized them so they're easy to slip on when you leave the room. Now that is service. The meals were also incredible. They're served directly in your room, so you're sitting on the floor at a low table, and there are 10 plus dishes, each with their own unique food that were all delicious. Some of them were cut in the shape of maple leaves, others had little leaves carved into the potatoes. It was amazing with the attention to detail of this food. And when you're done dinner, another staff member comes to your room to move the table, set up the beds, which are these super comfy futons that are laid down on the tatami mats, and then you go enjoy the onsens in the evening. So the stay at the ryokan was great, and before making our way home, we explored Hakone, which involved a lot of walking, but we walked along one of the old, heavily regulated footpaths that previously spanned between cities. We rode across the lake on a pirate ship, a ropeway, a cable car, and a train that did switchbacks on an 8% grade. And to wrap it all up, we ended with a visit to a modern ryokan with a rooftop onsen. This truly was one of the most relaxing weekends that I've had in Japan, and I love the amount of variety that I can bring to each weekend here, whether that's hiking or just bathing in a riverside hot spring. And if you don't already know, I've managed to extend my co-op placement until May of 2016, so had I not been able to do that, I'd be leaving in less than a month, which is crazy to think about because there's still so much that I want to do while I'm here in Japan. And I'm excited that I have another half a year to do all that and bring you all along for the adventures. I will talk to you all again in a week.